Forward to the cloud. Beautiful. All right, we got the recording going. That's the most important thing. My name is Jim Lambright. Believe in starting on time and ending on time. Your time is valuable. So for those of you who got here in time to get logged in, congratulations. We're going to get started. The rest of you will be able to catch up on the recording. As you know, we record. I'm going to have a chat box running if you have questions. So I'm going to be hosting and speaking today. So if you have a question, you can type in the chat box or do the little hand raise thing, and I'll call on you as we're going, or you can ask questions at the end. But one of the first things I want to knock out right here is there's going to be a worksheet you're going to be able to download. And yes, I am going to put it in the chat box so you can use it. Hang on one second here. Let me get back to the chat box. And let me punch this into the chat box. There you go. This is going to be a worksheet that we're going to be talking about today and going through. I'll be admitting people in from the waiting room too as we're going. So it's going to be great. So that link that I just gave you right there is going to be a worksheet. I'm going to go through it with you briefly, but you're going to want to use it, download it, and dig into this thing and go ahead and write your own personal goals. So here's one of the things. If you ask somebody if they have goals, they always say yes. Have you ever met somebody who says, yeah, no, I don't have any goals, right? People always say they have goals. But why is it that most people never achieve their goals? What is the reason? The reason is, according to scientists, and these are really smart people that have done studies on human performance, is because they don't have written goals. See, what's going on in your brain is paramount to basically a monkey on crack cocaine, jumping around in your head, bouncing around from thing to thing, taking you all kinds of different places. Um, you've got to be focused with things in writing and have a target if you plan on hitting something, right? If you just fire into the air, you're never going to hit the target. You've got to have a target and a path on where to head. And so today, I'm going to be talking to you about a guy that I've mentored with as far as setting goals, and he's probably the number one person. His name's Brian Tracy, and I'm going to share my screen here. Let me make sure everybody can see my screen. Can you guys see my screen? Go ahead. Somebody give me a thumbs up if you can see my screen. Good. You can see it. All right. Perfect. So this guy's name is Brian Tracy. I'm going to get right into this thing because we got a lot to cover here today. And BrianTracy.com is his website. He gives a lot of stuff away for free. And of course, he sells some stuff too. Everything I'm going to give you today is free that he offers. But if you really want to get into it and go for extra credit, he sells some cool courses that can help you with writing your goals. You're going to get a lot of value out of this today. Um, Goal writing is a science. Most people, again, will say that they have goals, but they don't have them in writing. They estimate, and when I say they, we're talking about Harvard and Yale business school studies, right? Like the tops of the top. And they say that less than 3% of business people, business executives. So these are the top people in the business, not just the worker bees in a business, but people that are running businesses. Less than 3% have written goals. So, what's that mean in the real estate industry? Probably less than maybe 1 or 2% actually have written goals that are written following this scientific formula, this recipe, if you will, to write goals. So, goal setting is how you ensure success. See, success is not something you chase. Success is something that you attract. We've all heard that before, right? So we're going to talk about that, how to do the goals. Brian Tracy, this is him right here. Again, I gave you a link to his 14-step goal setting guide. We're going to go through here in just a second. I gave you the link so that you can download it. You don't need to print it right now. We're going to go through it. You can actually use it later and take the personal time out yourself to write your own personal goals. But this guy has spoken to over 5 million people. He's coached the best of the best people in the world on writing goals. All the top level C-level execs of Fortune 500 companies, they went to this guy on how to write goals, and we're going to talk about through it today. So back in 1968, they came out with a thing called goal setting theory. And the theory of it was this, is when you have a target to go after, you're more likely to hit it. And it's based on intentional behavior. You must be intentional with your behavior. If not, you're just going to get what average people get, right? The average is the average, the law of large numbers, because you get what most people have if you do what most people do. If you want to be tops in everything, in your relationships, in your health, in your business, in your personal growth, if you want to be the top, you've got to do something different than what everybody else does. So there's 5 principles to goal setting theory. And we're going to talk about them real briefly here. Number one is clarity. Number two is challenge. Number three is commitment. Number four is feedback. And number five is task complexity, right? So first thing is your goals have to be clear. Most people have a goal like, I want to be rich, or I want to increase my sales, or something like that, right? That is not a goal in the scientific method that we're talking about of it, because it is not specific enough. You have to be clear, and we're going to talk about the formula here in just a second, but you have to be very clear in your goal as to what you're trying to attain. Also, your goals have to be challenging. If they're not challenging, they're not going to inspire you enough, right? If your goal is, I just want to do the same thing I did last year, well, that's not very inspiring, and you're probably not going to take the steps you need to push forward, right? A challenging goal gives you a sense of accomplishment, and it's going to encourage you to continue on your path to success. Now, the thing about a challenging goal is also, we're going to find here in a little bit, that it has to be realistic. What do I mean by realistic? For example, on an income goal, they say a realistic income goal is 2.5 times what you did last year. Okay. So I'll coach with agents all the time. And they'll say, yeah, I want to make $1 million in GCI this year. I say, oh, great. Awesome. How much did you do last year? I did 50,000 in GCI. Well, the truth of the matter is, most people only ever attain a 2.5 times what they did the previous year. And again, these are all these studies that have been done by these business schools, and they found that that's what you're looking for. And also, your brain will refute the fact of becoming a millionaire if you're not even 100,000-aire yet, right? If you haven't made six figures yet, and you say, I want to do $1 million this year, your brain will just say, that's a dream, that's a wish, and it won't work towards the goal. Okay. So when we get to that part, when we get to the goal writing, we're going to talk about all the different areas of your life you're going to write goals in. Remember that you're going to go 2.5x on that. Okay. Also, a commitment. You need to genuinely have to wish to do what it takes to complete your goal. For example, if your goal is to lose weight, but you value eating sweets and sitting on the couch and watching TV more than you do working out and eating healthy, what's your chance of hitting the goal of losing weight? Well, we know it's not going to happen, right? So you have to be committed in the long term, but also in short term steps. And we're going to break these down a little bit of how to get there. Feedback. You need to have methods for receiving regular feedback, or constructive criticism, right? The deadly word on that. Somebody that you can go to, a coach or something like that. We don't recommend it being a friend or a spouse. Those aren't the best ones to do. A friend will be too nice to you, and a spouse might be too critical of you, or somebody that's very close to you like that. It's best to have a coach or mentor. And if you don't have the money to spend on a coach or mentor, there's lots of free ones you get. In fact, people that are here on this mastermind today would be happy to go through their goals with you, and maybe you could even have accountability partner and hold each other to it and help each other write your goals so they're written in this scientific recipe, this formula for the best chance for success with your goals, right? And then task complexity. When goals are particularly complex, be sure you've allowed yourself the time to learn and properly break up the challenge into manageable chunks. Real estate's actually a big thing with that, especially people that are newer to the industry, right? You have to understand, growing your real estate business is particularly complex thing, and you have to be willing to chunk it down and go after the chunks and make it manageable. Okay. So for example, here we have an example of goal setting theory. By the way, I'll give you the copy to his blog post here so you can go through it and you can read this. But here's the reasons why goal setting is important. So maybe you're thinking, I don't know about this goal thing. I mean, yeah, I have goals, but actually sitting down and writing them out and creating the action steps necessary in writing for you to achieve those goals, you may be thinking, this is kind of a waste of my time. Here's 6 reasons why it's not. Okay. Number one, goals give you focus. You have to know what you're shooting for to have a chance of hitting it, right? It's kind of like the goals are sort of like the GPS for you, if you will. For example, if you get on a plane in Los Angeles, and that plane, it has a GPS set as to where it's trying to go in New York City. Do you know that it's off? If it's off by like 1/10 of 1 degree, the GPS, the plane, it'll land hundreds of miles off its target. Like it always has to be course correcting while it's in the air. It gets hit by crosswinds, has to fly around storms, or maybe there's some turbulence, right? It has to have the GPS to get it back on target. Your life is no different than that. You're going to have a target, but on the way, you're going to hit bumps and bruises and ups and downs, right? The life of an entrepreneur is not some linear type action, some straight path. It isn't. It isn't for anybody. There's ups, downs, peaks, valleys. Sometimes you get punched in the face, right, on the way, and you got to be able to get back up. And the goals get you back on track, just like a GPS would, keeping you going, right? My GPS, I make a wrong turn going to show a house. What's that lady doing there? She yells at me left and right to get me back on track of where I need to go. And that's what I need, right? Goals also let you measure your progress. It's very important for you as you go to check and track your progress each day. A lot of agents who miss their income goal, for example, for their GCI, is because they make their goal in January of the year and they don't check it again until December, right? That is not going to work. This is going to be a daily, weekly, and monthly check to make sure I'm on track. And if I'm not on track, it's going to let you know what? Not to decrease your goal, but to increase your activities, right? We never back down on the goal. We always increase activity if we're not on track to hit our goals. Goals help you stay motivated. It's easy to put off work until tomorrow when there's no goal on the line. If you have a goal, it's a way for you to be accountable. Look, I believe that most people who don't hit goals or don't write their goals is because they don't like being held accountable. People don't like being held accountable. We always want to blame something else as human beings, right? The rates sucked. There's too many agents in our marketplace. Buyers aren't buying right now. The credit restrictions are too tight. We always want to blame something else. So it's easier to blame other things when you don't have written goals. When you have written goals, you understand if it's got to be, it's up to me. The economy is not my economy, and we need to work on that and move forward with that. So goals will help you stay motivated as you understand that I am doing the daily activities each day. And again, we're going to get to these in a second. What are these daily activities? The activities that's going to take me to achieve my goal. Goals help you beat procrastination. I don't know about anybody else procrastinators on here. Raise your hand if you're a procrastinator. Some of you are procrastinating on even raising your hand, right? Yes, procrastinating, putting things off. Here's a nice little saying that I like. Only put off until tomorrow what you are willing to die having left undone. Wow. How about that? Right? So goals help you keep track because it's the compound effect. It's small, smart, seemingly insignificant daily choices made time and time again over a massive amount of time that helps you hit your goals. And it's the small little choices that get you off track. And here's what happens when you stub your toe, the goal gets you back on track. So you can see it. Goals will help you achieve more. By having a goal, you will push yourself and work towards meeting and the goals that you have, and you will find yourself surprising yourself at the end of the year. And here's the thing. There's a saying Tony Robbins has says this: human beings have a tendency to overestimate what they can accomplish in a year, but they severely underestimate what they can accomplish in 5 years. If you apply enough time over time, you'll be amazed at what you can accomplish. But it takes the daily steps each day, those little activities that are going to move you forward. And here's the thing about human fulfillment. Human fulfillment does not come from achieving the goal. That's not human fulfillment. Human fulfillment is the small little steps you see, the progress you get each day that give you the day-to-day fulfillment and the encouragement to keep going, to take another step, another step, another step, another step. And there you go, and you head towards the goal. And in reality, you should never hit your goal because your goals are fluid. You're always rewriting them. And if you start getting too close to achieving your goal, you need to rewrite it and make it bigger. Okay, so there you go. You'll probably never hit your goals if you do it properly. So goals help you determine what you want in life. See, with goals, you need to make sure they align with your values of what you have, right? So it helps you contemplate what you truly want out of life. A lot of times, human beings, we set goals that we think other people want to hear. Maybe it's somebody special in our life. Maybe it was our parents. We were trying to please them. Maybe we write goals to satisfy our kids or a lover in our life or something like that. That is not what personal goals are for. They're supposed to be personal. Now, you can share them with others to help you achieve that, but you're not writing them to make other people happy. Okay. To make them think, oh, this sounds good. This is impressive. I think this will impress people. And that's what we do. So there's all kinds of stories in this blog. You can read about different goal settings for different companies on how they did it. Um, I like this one by Bruce Lee, this little statement right here. A goal is not always meant to be reached. It often serves simply as something to aim at. It gives you something to aim for, to shoot for. And I think that's great. Um, the importance of writing the goals down, they found, is paramount if you plan on hitting them. If they're not written, just consider them a wish or a dream. You might get there, but the chance of you achieving it is very slim. You just might as well say, okay, I want to do this. Well, that's just a dream or a wish. But writing it down and putting the action steps that you're going to put in place and then doing the tracking on something, a very clear, concise goal, your chances go up exponentially of hitting them. Goal setting rewires your brain. It makes your brain more effective to keep you on track so you're not bouncing around all over the place. I was coaching with an agent earlier today, and she was talking about how she feels disorganized and, all hell's breaking loose, and she's hit her ceiling as to where she's at. And I said, do you have written goals? The answer was no. I said, this training right here, this mastermind, is what will get you on track and help you achieve the goals. Because the reality is this: if you're a high performer, you will never accomplish everything on your list that needs to be done that day. You won't. It's impossible. You will not accomplish everything. If you're getting to the point where you are accomplishing everything that's on your list, you're in trouble. You're not pushing hard enough to grow. And so what you'll see is that the goals keep you targeted. It's the old 80-20 rule, right? 20% of your activities will help you accomplish 80% of your goals to get to. And it's only 20% of your activities that are going to get there. So here's the top strategies for reaching your goals. You're going to write them down. You're going to revisit your goals on a daily basis. Now, how do you revisit on a daily basis? Well, you're going to put them in places where you're going to see them. I recommend number one, the mirror. Everybody brushes their teeth, and some of us shave in front of the mirror first thing in the morning. You can read those mirrors. You can read right on the mirror. You're going to be there anyways. You can do it while you're brushing your teeth. It's a great way to revisit your goals. Also, maybe put them up at your desk, and maybe if you have somewhere where you work out or you spend time, things like that, go ahead and put them there. You want to stay accountable. Find an accountability partner or track yourself the different activities that you need to accomplish that goal. Track them on something that's visible, some type of calendar or something where you can track it as you're going along. Also, you want to develop healthy lifestyle habits and take productivity courses. Those will all bring you forward towards reaching your goals, right? So how do you set achievable goals? Well, we're going to be talking about that here in a second. But you want your goals to align with your values. Now, this part right here gets a lot of people hung up. For example, you may write a goal that sounds good. I want to be the number one agent in my area. I want to be the number one agent. That's one of your goals. But your values are that you want to be a great parent and attend all the school events and all of your kids' games and practices, and you want to spend a lot of time at home. And sometimes probably those two don't align. If you're going to work 80, 90 hours a week to be the number one agent in your area, that's not going to align with being the best parent you can be, right? Maybe your little ones are 2 and 3 years old, and you want to spend your time at home with them while they're their age before they start going to school, but you also want to be the number one agent. Those two are probably not going to align. You're not going to hit your goal of being the number one agent and being the best parent in your mind, whatever that looks like to you. Those two clash, right? Because of the timing. And so you're going to negotiate on your goals as to what's important. Yeah, I'll give you an example. My wife, Stacy, and I, one of our goals is to spend 3 months, 12 weeks out of every year in the Caribbean. As we've been doing that now for a couple of years, it's been great. We've loved it. In fact, we just got back. It was awesome. My tan's already fading. I'm starting to peel here, but we cannot be the number one agent and also be gone 12 weeks out of the year. We can't. It's not possible. It doesn't align that way. Now, we did have our best year ever that we had in 2023. So that was one of our goals, right? To outperform the previous years versus being the number one agent in the area. Can't do that and be gone 12 weeks out of the year. But we could improve our business and grow our business. And that's what we did. And we had percentages that we wanted to set and we hit them. It was incredible. Great year, 2023, our best year we've had since 03 and 04. So pretty incredible, right? So align your goals with your values. And we're going to do this through a process. You're like, well, how am I going to do all this? I got a worksheet coming up that we're going to be going through. You want to keep it very simple. The more complex you make it, the less likely you are to hit it. Okay. So that was the blog post. In fact, you know what? Let me grab that and put that here in the chat box. I know somebody's going to say, get me that blog post. I'm going to do it right now. Copy. And now I'm going to put it in the chat box. 1 second here down the chat box. This was the blog post. Boom, paste, and it's in there. And earlier, for those of you who got on late, we're getting ready to go to a worksheet now. I posted a worksheet, a downloadable worksheet, 14 pages that you can download. It's free for you to download this. And then he does sell a master course. I think it's $27 or something like that. I found value in it, but I'm not here to sell it to you. You guys can decide if you find value in it or not. But all the way at the top up here, you'll see a link I put in, s3.amazonaws.com, blah, 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 14-step guide. That's what you'll be able to download. You'll see it at the top of this. But let's get into it here as we're moving along. I don't see any questions yet, so we'll keep going here. Hopefully everybody agrees now that they need to have goals. Now we're going to talk about how to write. Remember I told you there was a formula to writing goals? Because most people say, yeah, I have written goals. They wrote something down and they put it on their mirror. Well, chances are you did not write it in the proper recipe, the scientific method for writing goals. And again, these come from Harvard Business School and Yale and people. These are super smart scientists on human performance. And this is what they have come up with. So this, by the way, is the goal setting guide link I gave you. You will click on this, and this will get you to, let me copy this and put it in the chat box. This will get you to where you want to go with that. Hang on 1 second here, the chat. Paste. All right, there you go. Boom. It looks like that. So the other one looked kind of ugly that I posted earlier, but this is the one also that we get to. This is the page. You will go ahead and put your email address in right here. Once you put it in, it'll send you a link and you'll be able to download it inside of your email. All right. So let's get to the 14-step guide. It's going to look like this. Let me know if you can see my screen. Can you see Brian Tracy? Give me a thumbs up, somebody, if you can see it. Good. You can see it. So this is Brian Tracy. This is the 14-step goal setting guide. This will walk you through step by step how to follow the scientific formula of goal writing and setting it up for you personally. Okay. So goals, he claims, and I believe him because I've been using them now for 20 years, how to get everything you want faster than you ever thought possible. Success is goals and all else is commentary. Napoleon Hill has a great saying. If you haven't read the book Think and Grow Rich, you need to get in there and read that book, probably the top business book there is for entrepreneurs. But the primary reason for failure is that people do not develop new plans to replace those plans that didn't work. That's goal setting in a nutshell. See, the goals you're going to write, you're going to continually update as you move forward. It's not something that's a set it and forget it type thing. You're going to visit it daily. It's going to grow with you. In fact, some people teach that you should rewrite your goals each day. And you should get to a point where you have them in memory, where you don't even have to look at the goals. I'm pointing over here because I have it on my wall right here. You don't have to look at your goals anymore to rewrite them because they're memorized in your brain. They're ingrained in your subconscious. Okay. So let's get down here and let's go to the goal setting process. First of all, you need to decide exactly what you want in every key area of your life. He lists 4 areas. I would argue there's at least 5. Okay. And I'm going to give you a 5th one that I think is very important. It's not on here. But these are not listed in any order, but these are the order that they seem that most people decide to write them. Number 1, income. How much do you want to earn this year in your business, next year, and 5 years from today? Okay. Family. What kind of lifestyle do you want to create for yourself and your family? Very important, right? The relationships in your life. Your health. Number 3. How would your health be different if it was perfect in every way? Number 4 is net worth. How much do you want to save and accumulate in the course of your working life? And then I would say number 5 is this. It's not on here, but I would say this is very important, and that is spirituality or personal growth. You need to work on the real you. What is the real you? This skin thing that kind of surrounds us and covers our skeletal structure, this is not us. This is not you, right? The you is that person inside you. You know, that voice in your head, that one that talks to you. Those of you right now who are saying, what voice in his head is he talking about? That voice that just said that to you, that said, which one is he talking about? That's it. That's you. That is the person inside you, your spirituality, your essence, or your personal growth. We need to have a plan and a goal to work on that. Okay. And so we're going to do a very quick 30-second exercise right now. This is a very important one, actually. The most important part of everything you're going to hear today, and that is the 3-goal method. So in less than 30 seconds, I want you to write down your 3 most important goals in life right now, very quickly. Now, don't write what you want somebody else to hear or see, or what's important to your kids, or what's important to your spouse or your parents. This is you. What are the 3 most important goals in your life right now? Some of you have never done goal writing, and you can't even come up with 3 in 30 seconds. Those of you who have them in your head will be able to write them out right now. I want to make $1 million. I want to lose weight. I want to quit smoking, right? Something like that. Okay. 3 of your most important goals in life right now. If I had to do this right now myself, mine would be get a home in the islands on St. Croix. It would be make $1 million in GCI. It would be to double the size of my real estate team that I have. That would be my goals. I would write those down. I'll give you another 15 seconds to write. It's important to keep it very, very short. And there's a reason for that. Okay, time's up. Here we go. The reason you want to do it in 30 seconds is because it's called the quick list method. It doesn't give you a lot of time to think about it. It makes you do it very, very quickly because it's going to give you an accurate picture of what you really want in your life. Okay. Now we're going to get into it way deeper than that. That was just a quick 30-second exercise to kind of give you an idea of what's important. Here's the most common answers. I want to make more money. I want to get in better health, whether it's lose weight or work out or something like that. And it's usually somebody wants to quit some bad habit that they have. Those are usually the 3 things that people come up with. Those are the most common. Happen to also be the 3 most common New Year's resolutions that people say as they're clinking their champagne glasses together and giving someone a kiss. Those are the things like, this year, I'm going to get it, right? I'm going to make more money. I'm going to lose weight. And I'm going to give up smoking, whatever it is. Okay. And you can tell by going to the gym right about now, the place was packed the first week of January. You're going in there now, it's only half as packed. By the end of the month, it'll be back to where it was back in October, November, and December. There'll be no one in there again, right? It's because those New Year's resolutions are just wishes. There's something that pops in people's head and they're gone as fast as that because they didn't bother to write them down. Okay. So your goals, we're going to write them down and we're going to set a deadline on them. Human beings work by deadlines. We have to have a deadline. And by the way, here you go. Only 3% of adults have written goals. Everyone else works for them. How about that? 3% of the world controls 90% of the revenue in the world, just so you know. Is there a correlation there? I don't know, but it's that number. 3% of the world owns 90% of the money, and 3% are the only ones that have written goals. I don't know. So we're gonna set a deadline, right? Deadlines force you to do it. By the way, you're gonna have a copy of this sheet, so that's why I'm just breezing through it right now. But you need to identify the obstacles you will have to overcome to achieve your goal. Why aren't you already at this goal? Okay. There's the theory of constraints. There's a limiting factor inside your, let's say we're talking about your business, right? You're trying to create more GCI. There's a limiting factor that's keeping you from achieving that goal. What is it for you? Chances are, if you haven't done a lot of personal development, personal growth, you're going to have a blind spot and you're not going to be able to see it. Doesn't mean there's anything wrong with you. It just means you're human. Most of us have a blind spot about that. Okay. You're going to need somebody else to help show it to you, a guide, a coach, being on these mastermind calls that we have here, right? To help you find what is it that you're missing. And then there's the 80-20 rule. We are so busy in life right now, so busy doing all the minutia that we don't focus on the pieces that are going to move us furthest along. I already told you earlier, we said this, it's impossible to get everything done. You cannot get everything done. But the 80-20 rule says this, that on this particular case, 20% of the reasons you're not achieving your goals are on the outside. Always start with yourself. So 80% of the reasons that you're being held back is something internal. Only 20% of the reasons you're not getting your goal is something outside of you. So always start with working on yourself. There's something inside you that is constraining you and holding you back, and you got to figure out what that is. And typically, it takes another person to identify it for you. Okay. You need to identify the knowledge, the information, and skills you will need to achieve your goal. And here he says it again in bold print, only 20% of the reasons you are not achieving your goal are on the outside, and always start with yourself. There's something inside of you. A one piece. I've met so many agents and coached with so many agents before that their business just wasn't clicked the way it should be. And we found one little tiny key to tweak, and it unlocked their potential. They blew through their glass ceiling and they took off, and they doubled or tripled their income a year later by just finding that piece. And sit down with somebody and have them help you find it. Don't let the blind spot hold you back. Okay. So the greatest discovery is your weakest key skill sets the height of your income and your success. Let me say that again. So there's a specific set of skill sets you need to accomplish your thing. Let's say you want to make more GCI. Your weakest key skill sets the height of your income and your success. Maybe you're weak at lead generation. Oh my gosh. Lead generation. I hate it. I don't want to do it. I don't want to work on it. That, because of that key skill, because we know lead generation is a key skill that agents have to have. If that's your weakest set, wherever you are with that point is going to be the height that you can achieve. That's a tough one. So the key question to ask yourself is this when looking in: what one skill, if I developed and did it in an excellent fashion, would have the greatest positive impact on my life? What one skill would that be? I challenge you and say that probably if it's GCI that you want to work on, your key skill is lead generation. You don't have enough leads. Whoever has the leads has all the power, makes all the money. If you're making so many leads you can't handle them all, then you farm those out, and now you get paid off other people's efforts from people that aren't good at producing leads. I would argue that that is probably it. Okay, so one skill set for GCI would probably be lead generation, actively producing leads, seeking them out and creating leads. Okay. Number 6, identify the people whose help and cooperation you will require to help you achieve your goal. Like I said before, maybe you need that mentor or person in your life that's willing to find your blind spot that you don't see that you need to work on and help you point it out to you and help you get over the hump to get there. And this explains how to find that person, how to identify them, and how to work with them to find it. Okay. Also, you need to make a list of everything you will have to do to achieve your goal, right? Maybe you need some more training. Maybe you need a specific tool in your life. Maybe I know I meet agents all the time that aren't using a CRM, right? No, I don't use a CRM. It's just I have my people in my phone, and I just work from that. Oh boy, there's something right there that a mentor can point out for you on how you can break through the glass ceiling and how you can have a better life and produce more in 1 year than you've produced in the last 5 years combined. Something as simple as that they can point out for you. Okay. But you need to find that you need to have, and somebody can help you find that for you. You need to organize your list into a plan. You need to set up a plan. You need to sequence it. What do you have to do something else, and what order? What order do things need to get done? So many times we put the cart before the horse as agents, right? We go out and start working on something when we haven't got the basics under control yet. It happens all the time. And I see it when you coach with agents, putting the cart before the horse. They've got some incredible grand scheme of thing that they want to work on to scale and everything like that. And they're going to blow the business up, but yet they don't have the basics down. And you got to get back to the basics and work those. And then priority. What is more important and what is less important? The 80-20 rule says that 80% of your results will come from 20% of your activities. And boy, isn't that the case. For example, I'll just go back to the GCI example again, since we're all agents on here. Almost everybody, their goal is going to be they want to increase their GCI. And we're going to come up with a proper way to write that here in a second. But 20% of your activities, the action plans we're going to put in place, is going to generate 80% of your GCI, 20% of them. And we need to figure out how to focus on that. And that the first 20% of your time you spend planning your goal and organize your goal will be worth 80% of the time and effort required to achieve the goal. Planning is very important. Having a plan and then executing the plan, that is important. Okay, so number 9, make the plan. Organize your list of a series of steps from the beginning all the way through the completion of your goal. I can't tell you how many agents I will coach with that don't even use a calendar. They don't even use a calendar. They're just flying by the seat of their pants. They know they've got a showing tomorrow at noon. They've got a listing appointment the next day at 3 o'clock. Maybe they're meeting with an agent on Friday for lunch, right? That's just how they're doing it. They don't have in front of them a calendar that they use. Everything goes on the calendar. All the time blocking goes in there. So here's the reality. You should plan each day, week, and month in advance. If you say that you're going to double your GCI this year, but you don't have a calendar planning out each day, week, and month with things time blocked into the calendar, things like lead generation, it's not going to happen. It's a wish. It's not a goal, right? So you plan each month at the beginning of the month. You also review the previous month. What did I do good? What did I not do so good? What can I correct on this month coming up? But you plan each month at the beginning of the month. Plan each week the weekend before, and then plan each day the evening before. This only takes a few minutes to do, but because it's so easy to do, it's also easy not to do, right? Your brain will discount planning tomorrow in advance before you go to bed. Your brain will discount it because it only takes 5 minutes to do. Your brain will be like, oh, it's so easy. I'll catch it in the morning. No, you plan it the evening before so your subconscious brain, or what they call your superconscious brain, can go to work on it and can bring you ahas and epiphanies when you wake up in the morning on something to make today spectacular. And you do it the day before, okay? So the more careful and detailed you are when you plan your activities, the more you will accomplish in less time. How do high performers get everything done? Well, I can tell you this. Most high performers plan their day in 15-minute increments. You heard that right. They don't set hour appointments. They set 15-minute appointments. 15 minutes. That's what they're tracking their day. What did I do the last 15 minutes? What am I doing the next 15 minutes versus an hour? Right? Because an hour can escape so quickly. You know, get me on YouTube watching cat videos. Look out! I've lost 2 hours of my day gone. Right? You got to have 15 minutes if you want to be hyper focused and a high performer. Plan your day in 15-minute increments and break your calendar into that, and watch how focused you get. Right? A 15-minute drive to the grocery store, you can have that planned with something to do. Maybe you're listening to a special audio on high performance, or maybe you're talking to a specific client during that 15-minute window. You hyper focus on everything to get it all done, okay? You're going to want to select your number one most important task for each day. What is it? I would say this for most of us on here, it's lead generation. You got to have enough leads. And when you have too many leads, that's when you can scale your business, because you can bring on other agents as buyer agents. You can just farm them out to agents you know and collect a nice referral fee on leads. And you can cherry pick the leads that you have to take the highest and best quality ones and farm all the rest of them out. And you can do that by having a traditional team, or you don't even need a team. You can have other agents that are hungry enough that will take your leads, and we'll pay you a percentage on that, right? So you're going to prioritize, put a 1 to the most important task, number 2, so on and so forth, and have that done. The rule is this: each minute spent in planning saves 10 minutes in execution. That's a 10x return on your time. So that's why planning the night before, planning the week out, the weekend before, and planning the month out at the beginning of the month, and also reviewing what happened at the end of the day. At the end of the day, sit back and review. Here's what I look to accomplish today. Here's what I did good. Here's what I did not so good. Here's what I need to do tomorrow, and here's how I can do better. Competing against yourself always versus competing against others. I'm going to try to be more efficient tomorrow than I was today. Here's what I didn't do so well today. Here's what I can do better tomorrow. And here's how I'm going to knock it out. Okay, we're getting closer here. We're 14 steps. We're on step 11. Develop the habit of self-discipline. Once you've decided your most important task, resolve to concentrate single-mindedly on that one task till it's 100% complete. The term multitasking is a myth. Your brain cannot multitask. You think you can, but you cannot. You cannot have a couple things going on at once. The highest performers know how to take blocks of time and focus single-mindedly. They will take 15-minute blocks and go all in, and maybe they'll string 3 or 4 or maybe even 5 or 6 15-minute blocks of time together and go all in, no distractions, and go as hard as they can. It is the most powerful of all time management techniques to single-mindedly work on something. And again, I would challenge is probably lead generation to go all in as your most important from a business standpoint. Okay. So practice visualization of your goals. This is important. If you're going to stay motivated on your goals, let's say you want to double your GCI from this year to next year, right? It's important for you to understand what that feels and looks like. Like, what if I doubled my income from this year to the next? What would I feel like at the end of the year? Like at the 2024, it's New Year's Eve, and I doubled my income in 2024. What's that feel like from 2023? How do I feel if I doubled it? Feel it, see it. What does it do for me? Does it pay off some debt? Did I buy a boat? Did I get a bigger house? What did I do? Did I go on better vacations? And understand it and feel it for yourself so that you can visualize that goal. What's it going to do for you by hitting that? And a lot of people will use a vision board. It's a whole nother training for another time. I practice visualization with my Miracle Morning that I do. We'll talk about that here in a little bit, but you want to be able to visualize it so it keeps you motivated. So you're moving forward. You keep doing the small, seemingly mundane, little tiny steps. Like, does lead generation for one day change your life? No. Would lead generation doing it 2 days in a row change your life? No, probably not. What if you did it for a week straight? 90 minutes of lead generation for a week straight. Does that change your life? No. What if you did lead generation 5 days a week, 90 minutes a day, and you did that for a year? Would that change your life? Abso-friggin-lutely. It would change your life and your business forever. You wouldn't even recognize where your business is if you could knock something out like that. Okay. Goal setting exercise, right? So we're actually now we're going to get into actually writing the goals. This is where it is, right? All this other stuff was prep time. Getting to the goals is where you're at. You're going to write the goals. The goals are going to start with the word I. These are personal goals, personal. So it's going to be written in the form of I am, right? I am is the shortest sentence in the world, the most powerful sentence in the world. I am, right? You're saying what you are, what you stand for. Well, it's going to be I. After the word I is going to be an action verb that acts as a command from your conscious mind to your subconscious or superconscious mind, right? It is going to be in the present tense. So a lot of people say, I want to earn $1 million in GCI. Well, that is not a present tense term. Here's the thing about your subconscious brain. Your subconscious brain does not understand the difference between a command that has already happened or a command that you're looking to have happen. So in other words, instead of saying, I want to earn, because that's a wish, I want, your subconscious doesn't understand that. You would say, I earn. Okay. It's a present tense action verb that goes on. There's lots of examples in here that you're going to do it. But here's this. I earn this number of dollars by the end of the year. I earn $1 million in GCI by the end of 2024. That would be a properly written scientific goal. And I'm going to give you the 5 pieces that it must satisfy here in 1 second. Okay. If your goal is to get a certain new car, I drive such and such new car by July of 2024. If that's where your goal, maybe that's a goal you want. You have a special car you want to get. Okay. Then finally, when you write your goals, always write them in the positive tense. So instead of saying, I will quit smoking, Okay, a lot of people would want to quit smoking, right? You would say, I am a non-smoker. I am a non-smoker. See the difference between the sentence? I will quit smoking means I'll quit it someday in the future. But to your subconscious, I am a non-smoker is your identity. It's what you are. And you're driving it into your subconscious. And a non-smoker would never pick up a cigarette and smoke it. So you're identifying as I am a non-smoker. And that's one of your goals. That's the scientific formula of writing these things. Okay. So always state your goals as if they were already a reality. It sounds weird when you do it at first, like I earn $1 million of GCI by the end of 2024, right? If you want to double what you made this year. And again, if you're writing your income goal, it's 2 to 2.5 times of what you did this in the past year. That's what you want to focus on. Okay. But you always state your goals as though they were already a reality, as though you had already accomplished them. This activates your subconscious and superconscious minds to change your external reality so it is consistent with your inner commands. You're basically brainwashing yourself, is what you're doing to get your subconscious to bring about the things that you want. It's going to collect the stimuli from your external reality to bring it into you internally. Okay. And number 14, decide upon your major definite purpose. Okay. So lots of people will write out 10 to 15 goals that they have, right? The problem with that is going to be if you wrote out 10, if you focus on all 10, guess how many you're going to hit? Maybe one, maybe two, right? It's better to have a major definite purpose. One of those goals that you wrote can change your life forever. And so the question you ask yourself this, if I could wave a magic wand and achieve any goal on this list within the next 24 hours, which one would have the greatest positive impact on my life? Which one would it be? And that is your major definite purpose. That's the goal that you want to focus on. There's one goal that you have that would change your life forever and have a huge positive impact. Whatever that is, you're going to circle that goal and you're going to transfer it to the top of a different clean sheet of paper. Because from there, we're going to start creating action plans. Okay. Always state your goals as though they were already a reality, as though you had already accomplished them. Make sure you keep that in mind when you're writing this formula. Okay. So what you're going to do is you're going to write the goal down clearly and in detail. Then you're going to set a deadline on your goal and set sub deadlines if necessary, right? Some goals are so complex that you have sub deadlines that you're going to go for. Identify the obstacles that you have to overcome in order to achieve your goal and identify the most important one, internal or external. Identify the knowledge and skills that you need to achieve your goal. Identify the people whose help you're going to need, okay? And enlist them to help you. Make a list of everything you're going to need to achieve your goal and add to the list as you think of new things that go on. Organize your list by sequence and priority. Make a plan by organizing your list into steps from first to last and resolve to take action on your plan every single day. Every day, move the ball a little bit forward, a little bit forward, a little bit forward each day. How do you climb a mountain? One step at a time. You don't look at the top of the mountain when you're climbing it. You look 1 foot in front of you. That's how you do it. And you put enough steps together, you will make it to the top. Okay. You plan your goal in terms of the activities that you have to engage in to achieve it. So the plan is going to involve daily plans, weekly and monthly plans, planning it out in advance, and then holding yourself accountable at the end of each day, week, and month. Did I take the steps that I wrote out that I knew I had to do? You're going to set priorities on your list and identify the most important thing you can do every single day to move most rapidly towards your goal. Again, if we're talking about GCI, right? We're going to increase our GCI. What is the most important thing you can do? If you could only do one thing that day, I'd argue it's lead generation. Lead generation. Leads take care of everything, right? If you have enough leads, everything else takes care of itself. And then discipline yourself to concentrate single-mindedly on the most important thing that you can do today until it's 100% complete. Practice single handling with every major task. Okay. Now, here's the thing. There's a formula when it comes to writing these things, when you're writing these, that people are going to follow, and it's called the SMART. SMART. Is my goal a SMART goal? If you can see that, go ahead and give me a thumbs up if you can see this. Anybody see that? You can see it. Okay, thanks, Amber. Appreciate that. Thanks, Christy. Appreciate it. SMART goals stand for this. They have to be specific, they have to be measurable, they have to be achievable, they have to be relevant, they have to be time bound. What do we mean by specific? Let's just stick with the GCI thing, right? Okay. Specific. You can't say, I want to make more money in 2024. It's not specific enough for your subconscious. It needs to be clear and specific. How much money do you want to make? It has to be specific. It should answer who, what, where, when, why, and how. A specific, well defined goal. I want to double my GCI in 2024 to $1 million in GCI. Okay. Whatever yours would be. I would say everyone's goal for GCI should be to double in 2024 what they did in 2023. Okay. It needs to be measurable. Quantify the path of your goals. There need to be concrete evidence, metrics, numbers, or facts. It has to be measured. It has to be like a number, right? GCI works great. It's easy to do because it's a number. But if you say, I want to lose weight in 2024, well, that's not measurable. Do you want to lose a half a pound? You know what I mean? You can go to the bathroom and lose a half a pound. How much do I want to lose? Okay. And what are my goals as far as that goes, right? Maybe, for example, in 2023, I wanted to lose 40 pounds. I'll tell you the story about me. I wanted to lose 40 pounds. We just got back from Maui in January of 2023. And we climbed to this top of a volcano to see this waterfall. And I thought I was going to friggin' die. I mean, there were people that were 30 years older than me that were making this hike. And I was so overweight that when I get to the bottom of that, I told Stacey, I go, that's it. I am dropping 40 pounds this year. And that was my goal. I was going to get down from 220 down to 180. And I said, but I don't want to like spend all year getting there. Like I want to get there fast, right? And so I set sub goals inside there that were measurable on how many I wanted to lose. And I wanted to drop my first 20 pounds in my first 10 weeks and went after it hard. And that got me really encouraged and kept me going. And it worked out really well. I had a great 2023 health-wise. They need to be achievable, attain realistic and within your scope. For example, let's go back to the GCI thing. If you made 50,000 at GCI in 2023 and your goal is to make $1 million in 2024, you're not going to hit it. It's not something that your brain is going to believe. And again, I told you the math on that for income goals. 2.5 times what you made last year is the max you should set your goal for as far as that goes. Now, if something happened and you started taking off, then you just rewrite your goal. You can rewrite them anytime. You can adjust them as often as you want, as long as you're adjusting up. We don't adjust the goal down. We always increase the activity. Okay. Then it needs to be relevant, SMART, S-A-M-A-R-T, relevant, in line with your business objectives. Is it a worthy goal? Does it give you significant improvement? Does it make sense? Again, if you want to be the number one agent in your area, but you also want to spend every waking hour with your little ones because they're 2 and 3 years old, you know they're going to be this age right now, those two goals probably aren't going to match up. And you need to make sure your goals are in line with your values, what you value and what you want to have. And then time bound. You need to create an achievable deadline. It does need to have a sense of urgency. For example, when I was losing the weight, I told Stacey, look, I want to drop these 20 pounds immediately and get back down below 200 pounds in the first 10 weeks because I was just disgusted with myself, not being able to hike up a mountain. It was awful. And I had that just feeling and drive, and I wanted to go in sense of urgency, and I went after it, and it worked out really well. And it was great. You want to have achieved. So those are the SMART goals on there, and you'll want to be able to see those. You can find those all over the internet when you're looking for them. Okay, so let's get over here. I'll let Joyce in. It is 5 minutes till. Anybody ever heard somebody talk that fast in your entire life? That's the fastest talking Midwesterner you've ever heard. Drove my tractor to work today. That's how we are out here in the middle of a cornfield. We talk fast. Anybody have a question before we wrap this thing up? It looks like some people enjoyed it. Let's see. Does your accountability partner need to have similar goals, or it can be anyone? That's a great question, Jake. It can be anyone. If I could make a recommendation, Jake, try to not make it a friend, a good friend, or a spouse or somebody, because a friend will be too nice to you. You know what I mean? They'll sugarcoat things. Oh, you didn't hit your goals this week for your lead generation. No problem, man. Don't worry about it. It was a holiday week or something. You don't want that in an accountability partner, right? You want somebody that'll hold you to it. And typically spouses or lovers aren't good accountability partners either, because I have what you call the naked rule. And the naked rule is this: you cannot take nor give business coaching advice from anybody who's ever seen you naked, or if you've seen them naked. That's the naked rule. That means you're too close to each other. So that means it goes with your parents, it goes with siblings, you know, or your lover. Naked rule, no coaching nor business advice with them. It doesn't go great with that. Let's see if anybody else had any questions. Hope to answer your questions, Jake. Great info. You guys got the link. Let's see. Boom, 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 boom. Looks like we're doing good. Great. Can someone repost the worksheet, Jennifer? Yep, we reposted. Hopefully you got it on there. People love Brian Tracy. Monkey on crack brain. That is my brain, Amber. That's how it works. It bounces around like that. So last things last here. One things I want to point out. Thank you for jumping on with Grow Global. Please invite people. This is a mastermind for agents, by agents, all of us helping each other. Here's what we believe. We can all help each other grow more. There is unlimited amount of abundance out there. No matter who your broker is or anything like that, we can all help each other. And Grow Global is just an overall arching name for one big tent for everybody from all different brokerages to come in here and share different information. And to help you, we have a couple things to help you with this. And I'm going to show them to you right here. We have a website because sometimes you can't get here at noon Eastern time. We understand it on a Monday, right? By the way, happy Martin Luther King Day today. In fact, one of the greatest goal setters ever was Martin Luther King. Guy changed the world, right? With a dream, but it wasn't just a dream. He had a goal, and that people would be judged based on the content of their character, not on the color of their skin. What an amazing man. And thank God we had him on this planet for the short time that we did to help us change our world. And so great goal setter, right? Change the world. And so ours, we are going to put everything on this website. Why Grow Global? Go ahead and bookmark this so you have it. You can go there. We have different events that are on here. We have different resources that you can see. You can click here and suggest a topic. Maybe you're awesome at doing a specific thing in real estate, and you can go on here and suggest a topic. Or maybe you want to hear another expert speak about a topic. You can go on there. And you can check it out. We talk about our luxury, our different coaching, our healthcare, things like that. We have all of that. On top of that, we record these things. In fact, this is being recorded right now. We will be putting it on our YouTube channel. Go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel and turn on the little bell. Can you guys see my YouTube page there? I should have asked if I can see you. I'm sharing my page. Can you see it, Amber? Can you see the page? Okay, perfect. Great. So this is Grow Global Mastermind Academy. We've got all kinds. We got a library, 45 videos already and growing every week. Amazing stuff. So you can go back and watch it. I know some people say I talk fast. You can turn the speed down on the thing and you can slow down the speed of my voice on the YouTube thing and go on there. But all kinds of really great stuff on here for you on that. And then we also have a Facebook page. And the Facebook page is here. And let me share the page. I'll get rid of my wife asking me what I wanted from the grocery store on the Facebook Messenger. And you can see on here, you can join our Facebook page. And somebody can either invite you to join or you can click on and ask to join. We have 347 members and growing. And we post all kinds of cool stuff in there, like what's the next topic coming up and going on. You can see right there, like we posted what was happening this Monday. So you can see what's happening and you can invite other people. Because here's the thing. We're only going to grow as much as we all help each other. And I'll sign off with this. If you want to go fast, you go alone. If you want to go far, you go together. And that's what we think we're doing. We want to go far. We want to see everybody have a great 2024, an amazing 2024, and we're all going to help each other get that far. So thanks everybody for jumping on, man. If you have any questions, I'll stick around and answer them, but you can jump off here. We are done with that. Make sure you want to download the chat. There's 3 little dots down there in the chat box. You can click that and you can save the chat, or just go ahead and click on the link and get it. You can always Google Brian Tracy 14-step document for writing your goals. Okay. So yeah, I agree. Absolutely, Kim. Dr. Martin Luther King, right? He did have a dream and he made it a goal because he put it in writing and he told the world about it. Right? It wasn't just a dream in his head. He put it out there for all of us and changed our world. So thanks everybody for jumping on. Great to see everybody. I'm sorry I've been gone the last couple of weeks, but I've been in the Caribbean. Been gone. But we'll be getting some more of that.
We miss you, man. We really miss your energy. We like, man, we miss. And no, not 180 for you, okay, buddy?
Yeah, 180 is my size. That's where I need to be. I'm not 6'4"
No,
like Rob.
no, that's too skinny, buddy. For you, 190, 200. Thank you,
Well,
Kim. Thank you so much,
thanks.
bro.
Everybody
Thank
have
you.
a great one. We'll see everybody next week. Kim, do we know
Yeah.
next week's topic or no? If not, we'll post
John
it.
did.
No
Yeah,
big deal.
yeah. I
We'll
will
post
post
it
it.
and we'll have a video we'll put out with a
Yes.
little preview as to what it's going to be. You can watch for it on any of the websites and things like that on the Facebook page
Yes,
and stuff
yes.
like that. And whoever invites you here will send you a link for probably a 90-second promo on who's speaking next week and on what topic. So bye
Right.
everyone. Have a great one.
Bye,
I'm going to stop
guys.
the recording.
Yes.